July 14th, 2013. My husband and I were set up in the parking lot of a high school in Akron. We'd started our mobile ice cream business only a couple of months ago, and we said yes to every event we were invited to, even though this particular one happened to fall on my birthday. It was hot and humid that Sunday. Ice cream? We were a sure thing. We weren't. There are worse ways to spend a birthday, but having the event planner feel so sorry for us that she forced people to buy ice cream, literally walked them over to our stand and waited as they forked over their cash, like we were kids with a lemonade stand, is probably on that list. July 14th, 2012. I have no clue what I did for my birthday that year. I guess there's something about spending them in parking lots that make them memorable. In any case, I was living in Brentwood, a posh suburb of Los Angeles at the time. So for my birthday, I probably went to a trendy restaurant with friends and had drinks after. And due to LA's surplus of cars and lack of parking, I probably just valeted. No parking lots involved. How did I go from living the yuppie dream in LA to hanging out in high school parking lots in Akron? July 14th, 2008. I'd recently graduated college with a finance degree and had just started my first job at a large multinational bank. Looking back, I was so fortunate to land that job, but at the time, I only saw my friends who joined quote-unquote more prestigious banks, who were starting at fancy consulting firms, who were moving to Silicon Valley for the likes of Google and Apple, who'd been accepted into Ivy League graduate programs, and I felt like I wasn't good enough. I was Helen, former college student, current financial analyst, but I should have been Helen, associate consultant, or Helen, future lawyer, Harvard, of course. So instead, I spent the next few years of my life using titles and promotions at my job to figure out who I was and who I wanted to be. I wasn't happy. When you define yourself solely by your occupation, it's hard to be. After all, there's always going to be someone who's a little bit better than you, someone who moved up just a little bit faster, who's probably making a little bit more money, someone who's better at being you than you. So to make myself feel better, I thought, well, maybe this whole finance thing just isn't my thing. When I figure out what I love to do, then I'll be happy. And I looked at my friends who'd eschewed corporate America in pursuit of their dream jobs, whether it was to be an artist or a musician or a writer. And I thought, surely they're happy. They're doing what they love. Sometime between July 14th, 2012 and July 14th, 2013, as a result of a job promotion at the bank, my husband and I moved to Cleveland. And sometime between that, while he was looking for full-time work, he suggested the idea of starting a mobile ice cream business. I love having an ice cream business. I love doing our social media, responding to tweets and Instagram comments and Facebook at night. I love thinking of new flavors, and I love even more eating them. And our ice cream business even made me appreciate my day job more. There's something to be said about getting paid to sit all day in a chair in a climate-controlled office. When you spend most of your weekends outdoors at events, usually hosted on parking lots, you have a deeper appreciation for air conditioning and heat. That was when I started realizing that dream jobs and corporate gigs, and somewhere in between, whatever it was you did to pay the bills and make a living, they weren't all that different from each other. And the things that make you unhappy in your life, your job won't fix them, won't make you any happier. And in case you forget that, there are the parking lots, the times that kick your butt and make you realize that though your job may be serious stuff, sometimes you're still just a kid with a lemonade stand. July 14th, 2014. Our mobile ice cream business had grown since that day in the parking lot, and we were opening up our first brick and mortar. In the meantime, the large multinational bank I worked for decided to close its small Cleveland office, and I had just been laid off. The bank had a generous severance policy, and I was fortunate to land several promising interviews shortly thereafter. And really, I wasn't any more or less happy than I was when I wasn't laid off. Terrified, yes. But still, I felt unsettled, unmoored. In speaking with a friend, she said to me, that I've identified with working at a bank for so long, of course it was unnerving to become a person who doesn't work at a bank. And then she said to me, "You are not your job." October 15th, 1999. That's the day the movie Fight Club, based on the novel by Chuck Palahniuk, came out. I didn't watch it until much later, but even then, this quote by Tyler Durden didn't click with me until she repeated it. You are not your job. You are not how much money you have in the bank. You are not the car you drive. You are not the contents of your wallet. You are not your fucking khakis. You are not your khakis, and you are not your job. You are not your job, but it's the easiest thing in the world to define yourself by it. It's something I'm still learning not to do. In fact, my talk today, really my whole adult life has been partially formed by the jobs I've had. And our ice cream business, it wouldn't exist today without us having moved to Cleveland for my former job. The thing is, a lot of our narratives are guided by our jobs, whether we move for a new position or are stuck in a place we don't want to be because of a current one. We spend 40 hours a week there, if we're lucky, sometimes much more, and we see our coworkers more than we see some of our family and friends. And since our jobs are such a big part of our lives, it's hard not to wonder how different our lives would be with a different job, how much happier we could be. But your job, my job, they're still lemonade stands, and sometimes they're set up on a nice grassy lawn, and sometimes they're smack dab in the middle of asphalt. And that can and will change. At the end of the day, what matters is what happens when you pack up the stand. October 24th, 2014. I'm Helen, a sister, a daughter, a wife. I'm Helen, and I currently work at a real estate development firm. I'm also an ice cream business co-owner. Should I get laid off again, or our ice cream business shutters, knock on wood, neither of those things happen, I'd still be me. The same sister, the same daughter, the same wife, the same person I am now. Sometimes happy, sometimes not, but doing my best not to let a job, any job, tell me which one to be, or who to be. October 24th, 2014. Who are you? Thank you.